George Russell has been everything Mercedes could hope for: consistent, composed, and brilliantly fast. While others falter under pressure, Russell has become the quiet anchor of the team's 2025 resurgence, often outperforming expectations and matching the fiery young sensation, Kimi Antonelli. Yet, behind the scenes, a strange silence lingers. Mercedes has not announced any long-term deal for Russell. For a driver in such electric form, that's more than odd. It's suspicious. So what's going on? Toto Wolff has publicly stated that Russell will stay with Mercedes for 2026. But no one, not even Russell himself, has signed anything beyond that. It's as if Mercedes is deliberately keeping a door open, waiting, watching, and perhaps preparing for something much bigger. And that's exactly what this video will uncover: the real reason Mercedes is holding back. If you love F1 insights beyond the headlines, make sure to subscribe, because what we're about to explore could change how you see the driver market entirely. At first glance, Mercedes' delay in extending George Russell's contract seems illogical. Here's a driver who has not only met expectations, but exceeded them: quick, intelligent, and fiercely composed under pressure. Throughout the 2025 season, Russell has been a model of consistency, bringing Mercedes vital points and podiums while keeping their championship hopes alive. His performance in Baku, where he pushed beyond the limits with that jaw-dropping 200 mph pit entry, reminded everyone of his sheer commitment and control. Martin Brundle called it stunning bravery and precision, the kind of compliment that only comes when a driver is truly operating at his peak. And yet, Mercedes remains silent about his long-term deal. Why? To understand that silence, we need to look beyond Russell himself and straight into Mercedes' broader strategy. This isn't just about one driver's future. It's about how Toto Wolff is positioning the team for Formula One's next era. Officially, Wolff has confirmed that Russell will continue racing for Mercedes alongside Kimi Antonelli in 2026. But the absence of a long-term contract hints at something more complex, perhaps even political. Within Mercedes, there's growing speculation that the team is keeping its options open in case an extraordinary opportunity arises. And that opportunity has a name: Max Verstappen. Despite being locked into Red Bull until 2028, Verstappen's situation is becoming increasingly uncertain. Red Bull's internal turmoil management conflicts, questions over leadership stability, and the 2026 power unit project has quietly shaken the foundation of what once seemed like an unbreakable empire. Rumours in the paddock suggest that Verstappen could seek an early exit if Red Bull's performance falters. And if that happens, Mercedes wants to be ready. The logic is simple. You don't tie yourself down to a long-term deal when the reigning four-time world champion might soon become available. Toto Wolff is known for playing the long game. He has a reputation for thinking several seasons ahead, always balancing loyalty with opportunity. To him, Russell is valuable, but so is flexibility. By not committing to a long-term extension, Mercedes can adjust its lineup depending on how the next 12 months unfold. It's a strategic move, one that gives Wolff both security and leverage. If Verstappen stays put, Russell remains the cornerstone. But if Verstappen makes a move, Mercedes will have room to maneuver without legal or contractual obstacles. However, that strategy carries a hidden danger. George Russell is not just another name on a driver roster. He has been part of the Mercedes family for nearly a decade, rising through the team's junior program, enduring the difficult early years after replacing Valtteri Bottas, and proving himself as a leader in the post-Hamilton era. His loyalty has been unwavering, but that loyalty has limits. If Mercedes continues to delay, Russell could begin to question his value to the team. And when a driver starts feeling uncertain, the paddock takes notice. Teams like Aston Martin and Ferrari are already rumoured to be monitoring the situation closely. There's also an unusual complication that makes Russell's case unique. Mercedes not only employs him as a driver, but also represents him through their own driver management division. In other words, the team acts as both employer and agent, negotiating with itself. Martin Brundle described it as a tricky situation, and he's right. This dual relationship can make contract discussions slow and delicate, especially when both sides are trying to maintain transparency while protecting their interests. From the outside, it might seem like Mercedes is playing with fire, but from Wolff's perspective, it's calculated risk. The 2026 regulation change with entirely new engine and chassis concepts will reshape the competitive order. Signing any driver to a long-term deal before knowing how competitive Mercedes will be under those new rules could backfire. If the car fails to deliver, Mercedes could find itself stuck with contracts that don't match its performance level. Delaying in that sense gives them time to see how the pieces fall. Still, the optics are uncomfortable. Even Jenson Button expressed surprise at the situation, saying, "Looking at his performance this year, I don't think any other driver has performed better. I'm surprised a contract hasn't been signed yet." Coming from a former world champion, that's a powerful statement. It reinforces what many in the paddock believe, that Russell deserves not only security, but recognition. Russell's form this season has been remarkable. Against Antonelli, the young prodigy and future face of Mercedes, he's held his ground with calm authority. His experience and maturity have helped balance the energy of a rookie teammate, while his technical feedback continues to shape the development of the car. Losing Russell, or even making him feel undervalued, would be a mistake that could ripple through Mercedes' future. But Mercedes isn't just managing drivers, it's managing possibilities. And right now, every sign points to Toto Wolff waiting to see what happens at Red Bull. If Verstappen leaves, Mercedes will be ready to strike, even if it means reshuffling the entire structure. In the meantime, Russell remains in a curious position, one of F1's best drivers, yet technically in limbo. He's performing at the highest level, carrying Mercedes through an intense season, but his long-term future remains unsigned. For now, both sides seem content with the silence. But the longer it lasts, the louder the questions will grow. In truth, Mercedes' delay isn't a lack of confidence in George Russell. It's a sign of how cautious, strategic, and ambitious the team has become. They're not just thinking about 2026, they're thinking about the next decade. And in that timeline, every move, every signature, and every silence might be part of a bigger plan. So, is George Russell's contract delay simply a matter of timing? Or is Mercedes secretly keeping their options open for a blockbuster move involving Max Verstappen? One thing's for sure, if Toto Wolff is playing chess, he's several moves ahead of everyone else. But the question remains, how long will George Russell be willing to wait before he starts thinking about a new board entirely?